If you can hang a picture, you can hang your shear shades in no time. Today, I'm going to show you just how easy it is. Grab these simple tools and let's get started. All shear shades have the same basic parts, the shade itself and the necessary mounting hardware. Today, I'm installing a cordless shear shade with an attached cassette headrail. Depending on the shade you ordered, the pieces or parts you have may be a little different, and that's okay. You'll follow basically the same steps I'll go through here to hang them. Just be sure to check the instructions that came with your product before you start. If your shade came with these white bands wrapped around it, follow the instructions and leave them in place until the shade is installed. Do the same thing for the protective film covering the cassette. That's there so it doesn't accidentally get scratched while you're installing it. See these grooves on the top of the cassette? That's what the brackets latch onto to hold the shade into place. The width of your shade will determine which groove they fit into and what size brackets you have. Since my shade has a cassette, it can only be top mounted, so we're going to attach the brackets inside the top of the window frame, like this. The front of the bracket will face out from the window and the back of it hangs down, like this. Depending on the width of your shade, you want to place your brackets 2 to 4 inches from the end of each side, so just make a little mark there, making sure they're aligned. From this mark, measure 2 inches from the front edge of the window and make another mark. Now you're ready to attach the brackets. Take your bracket and align the pilot holes with your second mark and make 2 more marks for your screws. If your window is only deep enough for 1 screw, don't worry. That's all you need to secure the bracket and hold the shade in place. Measure between your marks to make sure they're aligned. Before actually drilling in the screws, it's a good idea to pre-drill the holes to make it easier to put them in. Place the bracket over the holes and drill the screws in loosely. This gives you a little wiggle room for any adjustments to make sure the brackets are straight and aligned properly. Once the brackets are lined up, finish drilling the screws in all the way. Now we're going to put the cassette onto the brackets. Grasp the cassette so the front of the shade faces you and rest the front of the cassette onto the lip of the brackets. Then push the bottom front of the headrail firmly back toward the window until it catches on the back of the brackets and snaps into place. That's it! Before testing the shade, you may now remove the protective bands and plastic film from the cassette. Now just pull the shade up and down a few times to make sure everything looks and works right. You always want to use the tassel to move the shade. Don't try to open and close it with the bottom rail. Another thing to remember about operating your shear shades is that the slats in between the shear fabric won't open unless the shade is pulled completely down. When you raise the shade, the slats close automatically. If you need to remove your shade, raise it fully into the cassette, reach up under it, and press on the back bracket, which acts as a release tab. Or just slide the flathead of your screwdriver up there and release the headrail. Then, just lift the cassette off the brackets and out of the window. We hope you enjoy your beautiful new shear shades from Select Blinds. If you have any questions or need any additional help, please see your product's installation guide on our website or just give us a call. We're here to help.